Welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are introducing 3 new stamp sets. We have Simply Celebrate Winter and its coordinating dies. We have Winter Scripty Sentiments. And we have Simply Winter Sentiments. And these sets all work great together and they work great on their own too. So this is Simply Celebrate Winter, and this set has these nice long strips that are great for making quick and easy cards and also for adding to the backgrounds of your scenes. We have presents, gingerbread men, trees, snowmen, ornaments, houses, and the sentiment Season's Greetings. Then next up we have our Winter Scripty Sentiments, and these are these nice long sentiments in this great little script font that's perfect for adding to all of your holiday cards. We have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Joyful Wishes, Season's Greetings, Let It Snow, Happy New Year, Warm Winter Wishes, 'Tis the Season, and Happy Hanukkah. And then this is Simply Winter Sentiments, and these have a nice simple blocked font that are perfect for mixing and matching with the script. So we have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Deck the Halls, Cheers, and then we have And a Happy New Year, From Our Home to Yours, From Me to You, or From All of Us, With Love, and To You and Yours. And then here you can see how great these can mix and match. So you can do Joyful Wishes, From Me to You, or From All of Us. You could do Merry Christmas, From Our Home to Yours. And I really like the mix of the script with that blocked font. I think it's so pretty. And then you can see how well they're sized to work with Simply Celebrate Winter. So next up, I'm going to be using my Copic markers to add some color to these fun images. And what I love about these is you can get really creative with your coloring. So in this case, in this first one, I'm coloring in a color palette that Kay from the design team did that I thought was so beautiful. And it was this olivey green with a lighter red with this great kind of grayish teal color. It was so pretty, so beautiful for the holidays, but really unique. I also love that this strip of presents could easily be for birthday. You could color it in a different color scheme and you could use it all year round, which is really, really awesome. Now for these gingerbread men, I am going to be coloring them with E31 and E34. To me, that's like the perfect little somewhat toasty cookie color look. So I'm just going to be repeating the same thing. I'm going to lay down my darkest marker on 2 of them and then blend it out with my lightest. What I'm trying to do here is do some pretty simple coloring so that these are kind of quick and easy to use, because I know around the holidays I need to mass produce a bunch of cards. So I like to keep my coloring simple. So you'll see I'll put my dark down just real quick and then blend it out with my light. This is something I could do in front of the TV, get a ton of coloring done, and have a ton of fun doing it. For their little buttons, I'm using a white gel pen to add that detail so it kind of looks like some white frosting. In keeping with the simple coloring theme, I'm actually just going to be using 1 marker per tree here. And what I'm doing is just going under the little kind of ridges of the tree with that same marker just to darken the area a little bit. So it looks like it has a little bit of shading, but I only had to use 1 marker. You'll see here that I'm using a rainbow color scheme, and I'm going to be using that throughout the next 4 images. And that's to go along with my really rainbow Christmas paper. I think the idea of this rainbow theme for Christmas is so pretty. It's so happy and bright and joyful. I know it just makes me smile every time I look at it. The snowmen are my favorite for mass producing because there's not that much to color on them. So it's really quick and easy, and I'm just using 1 marker per color, but I can still do the fun rainbow theme. Now in this case, I wanted to add a little bit of something extra. So I'm doing a little bit of that light blue marker around the edges and then blending it out with my colorless blender. But I could do it without that blue on there and it still looks super cute, especially if you needed to make 50 or 100 Christmas cards. And now I'm going to be continuing on with this same idea here with the ornaments. So I've got 3 different shades of red and pink, and I'm doing that with the oranges and yellows and kind of mixing and matching so that I have 1 darker strip in the middle and then kind of the lighter on top or the lighter on bottom. And that way there's some variation in the color, but I still get that fun rainbow theme going on with these, which I think is just so pretty. This village of houses is one of my favorites, and I love coloring these in the bright colors. They look really pretty in soft colors or just kind of in 1 color all across them as well. So I love that you can really change these to match what you're doing, match what papers you're using, and what kind of look you're going for your holiday cards. After completing my rainbow of houses here, I'm going to use different shades of neutral gray markers to fill in the chimney and the doorsteps and the doors, and then a little light blue marker for those windows. These are the coordinating dies for the set, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate them. I'm going to take those dies and line them up with my stamped images, hold it in place with some low tack tape. I can run it through my die cut machine, and these images are going to be cut out perfectly so that they're ready to put on a card. Here you can see all of those cute images lined up, and I also wanted to add some other ones that I've colored in different color palettes. So here you can see a more traditional coloring of green trees with the little white snow on the bottom, and then the little snowmen there with that red and teal and olive color combination together. So I love that you can really mix and match and make these your own depending on what colors you add to them. And here you can see how well these strips of images line up with these sentiments. I love that the sentiments are sized to work with these sets, but I also love that they're general sentiments that could look good combined with any stamp set as well. So the mix and match is so much fun with these. Now we're going to be working on making a set of cards using the Really Rainbow paper. So we're going ahead here and pulling out a ton of the different papers. And you can see here we've got some of the multi-prints and then some of the more solid colors to go along with them. We're going to take out some of our stitched rectangles and outside in stitched rectangles. We've die cut the standard size card at 5.5 by 4.25 from all of those fun kind of multi prints. And then from the more solid prints, we're going to die cut a stitched rectangle. And then we'll die cut an outside in stitched rectangle out of some white cardstock. Next up, we're going to be using the Misty tool for stamping, and that's so that we could make a ton of these cards there. So we've got our strip of houses there just kind of as a placeholder. We're going to line up one of the ones from the Scripty Sentiments and one from the Simply Sentiments. We can pick that up with the Misty, and we could die cut a bunch of white rectangles and keep stamping this so that we can make a ton of cards to send out. We're going to do the similar idea here with the ornament. So we're going to line up the mix of the script and the blocked font, and once again stamp that out. In this case, we're making one of each card, but now we're ready so that we can make a ton of each once we have our original prototype to kind of go off of. We'll be doing the same thing here, stamping on that beautiful blue snowfall paper. Then we'll use the Christmas trees as a guide and trim off any excess there of that piece. The great thing about this is that extra piece that we're left with, we could stamp it again and we can make 2 cards in this same style. So we're going to take some of this beautiful Christmas tree paper and line that up onto a standard size card, and then we'll repeat the same thing as well with the other pattern paper. So we'll take the beautiful rainbow ornaments and add those on, and also that kind of rainbow script paper as well. And then next we have some assembly. So we're going to take that blue snowfall paper and layer that on the bottom of that word script paper, which is one of my favorites. And then we can layer those stitched rectangles, the white ones that we stamped on earlier, onto the green and red pattern papers. And so I love the look of all of these stitched rectangles layering on top of each other. I love adding foam tape to simple cards like this because it really gives it a nice pop. So we're going to add a ton of foam tape to the back of those panels and put that onto the front of the cards. And then we can also add foam tape to the strips of images from Simply Celebrate Winter and pop those up as well. And I really love the look of the 2 different popped layers. Now for the ornaments here, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So we're going to layer those ornaments on, but we want to stamp some little strings for the ornaments. So there's this great little kind of dotted line in the stamp Joy to the Woods. And a lot of our stamp sets have this little dotted line for the ornaments. We're going to take a Post-it note piece there and just mask off that green paper to make sure that we don't stamp onto the green paper and only onto the white paper. We've got our Joy to the Woods stamp set, and we'll take out that nice long strip there. And we have a ton of different inks to match along with the ornaments. So that way we have the little strings of the ornaments also in rainbow order. So we're going to go ahead and stamp all of those, and you can see just how cute that's looking. We can remove our little Post-it note mask there, and we've got a great look, and those little strings are not onto the green paper. It would have been easier to just stamp them earlier, but we kind of forgot and we layered the white one on top. So that worked out, and it was a great way to save the card and still be able to stamp those little strings. Now here you can see the cute little rainbow Christmas trees, and we're just going to add a star on top. That's from the Winter Skies stamp set, and I think it's such a cute look to add a star just to that middle Christmas tree. And then here you can see how cute this card set is. I love all of the white with the rainbow colors. It's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much to Shari for making these awesome cards. They are just gorgeous. Now, I was inspired by Shari's rainbow cards, and I wanted to make one just like it. So that's what I'm doing here. So I've got a standard size card base there, and I've cut down some of the 12 by 12 paper. This is a card that I could definitely mass produce. I have a scalloped rectangle I'm going to die cut from some peacock cardstock, and a stitched rectangle I'm going to die cut from the blue snowfall paper from the Really Rainbow collection. I'm going to stamp my mix of sentiments from the 2 different sentiment sets on there in some black ink, and I've got it on my Misty so I can stamp a ton of these out, and then I can layer that onto my scalloped rectangle. Then I'll go ahead and add a bunch of foam tape to the back of my cute little snowman and layer that onto the card, and then some more foam tape on the back of that whole panel to layer that onto that rainbow snowflake that is just so beautiful. And then here you can see another version I made with a different sentiment. So you could change up your sentiments, you could change up the strips of the images that you added on there, and you can easily make a ton of these and send to people and make them smile during the holidays. Now, while I love this set for making simple, easy to reproduce cards, it's really cute to use these images to kind of help you set your scene. So in this case, I have cut down some pixie dust sparkle cardstock to 5.5 by 4.25. And I have a reverse stitch scalloped window die here that I'm layering onto that card base. Now I only want to cut part of this circle, so I'm going to layer that onto the base of my cutting plate and then layer my top cutting plate right to the edge of where I want it to cut. So you'll see there I'm layering it right to that edge because I don't want it to cut there to the left of the plate. I can take that whole sandwich and run it through my die cut machine, and then as you'll see when I pop off the die, then all of it has cut. So you're going to get this really cool kind of half window, almost like a snow globe look. And then I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to connect the bottoms of the two circles there. And now we've got this great little shape, and I love that little scallop detail on it. This is a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and I'm going to look through my paper pad here and find some of that blue snowfall paper, and I'll trim that down so that I can layer that on my card so we have the snowfall going on into this kind of snow globe feel window. We'll add that glitter portion there with a ton of foam tape to have kind of a nice popped up look and have that snow in the background. And then I'm going to take the Christmas tree here from Christmas Dreams and a cute little deer from Say What Christmas Critters, and then those piles of presents from Simply Celebrate Winter, and combine all of these sets together. So I love that this little strip of presents is a perfect way to set the scene for this cute little deer right around the Christmas tree. These are some dies from the mini snowflake set. We're going to die cut some more pixie dust cardstock and then take a ton of these little mini snowflakes and glue them around our cute little snow globe scene here. So I'm going to add a little glue there and then attach that down. And I'm using a little jewel picker tool, and I really love this thing because it's really easy to pick up these tiny little pieces and attach them to your card. So I'm just going to repeat this with a ton of other snowflakes. And today we are recreating a card by Kay, so thank you so much, Kay, for letting us recreate this gorgeous card. So here I have the Merry Christmas line border, and I'm going to die cut that from some chili pepper cardstock. And I've die cut a bunch of them because I want to layer them to give them some height, and I think it's going to look really cool, like it's really just kind of popped up off the card. So I added some glue to one of them, and I'm going to layer one more on there, and I'll repeat that one more time. And I decided to stop at 3. I thought that was kind of the perfect height, and I'll just save my 4th die cut one for another card later. Once I have my 3 die cuts layered, I can add some glue to the back and then attach that to my fun sparkly card base, which I'm just loving that, and then I can just trim off any of the excess. For the dot on the eye, I'm going to be using one of those same little snowflakes, but I'm going to die cut it from some white cardstock, and I'm going to layer those 2 times instead of 3 times. That way there'll be a little bit of a difference in height for the dot on the eye. And it's a little bit hard to see that white one on camera because that paper is so sparkly, but it's really easy to see in person, and it looks so cute to have a little snowflake as the dot of the eye. And I just love this card so much. It's so sparkly and so happy and fun, and I love the idea of combining a bunch of different stamp sets together so you can look through all your sets and see what might look nice to kind of mix and match and create a really fun design. So I see a lot of people do this technique, including Kay, and we asked Kay, oh my goodness, how do you do it? And one of the tricks that she taught us is that she turns her paper upside down and then she does this flicking motion. And that helps so much. I've been practicing a lot to try to get it right, and the upside down trick is really, really good. So you'll see there that what I do is I layer my lightest color and then my darkest, and then I go back over with my lightest again. I think it is such a pretty look for a winter tree or a Christmas tree because it really looks like there's been snow that's kind of laid down on the bottom of the card. So here I have a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and I'm going to take out that blue snowfall paper again. As you can tell, it's one of my favorites, and I'm going to trim that down there to 4 inches and layer that onto the card. Then I'm going to take some of that new wood grain cardstock, and I'm going to use the white color, which is so beautiful, and I'm going to stamp on it with the winter Scripty Sentiments. We're going to put warm winter wishes on there, and then we'll layer that along the bottom. So we've got the snowfall coming down onto our white wood grain base. Now in this card, we're doing something a little bit different in that we're layering two of the images together from the set. And I love the look of the Christmas trees from the Simply Celebrate Winter with the little snowmen. It's absolutely adorable. And it's just such a fun scene and such a beautiful color combo. And I think this would make anybody smile. And so up here we have a look at the 6 cards that we made today. You can see you can make really quick cards, you can make more complicated cards, you can have a lot of fun with the color palette and keeping your coloring simple to make it super awesome and super easy to reproduce a bunch of really cute cards. Next up, we have some awesome cards by the design team. So here we have this beautiful card by Letitia. I love the watercolor and her fun color palette. It's just beautiful. This card by Audrey blows me away. How cool is that scene with those big snowflakes and then the tiny little snowmen? I just love it. This is the card by Kay that inspired us to make ours today. And then this card by Elena is so cool. Look at that background that she created with all those little snowmen. Oh my goodness, I love it. Nicole created a beautiful and soft scene. I love the colors on her houses and how she stamped that snow in the background. It's absolutely beautiful. And then I love how Megan created a double slider where she used the gingerbread men there as part of her scene along her kitchen counter. How cool and how fun is that? And it's such a cool way to incorporate these stamps into a scene. I love how Lizzie layered the circle behind the houses. It really gives this awesome snow globe feel that's so cool. And then I adore how Yanea created her own custom paper by stamping those trees over and over again in different shades of green ink. These cards by Melissa are so beautiful. That gold paint, oh my goodness, I love the rainbow images on top of them. And then Elise made a gorgeous set of cards combining critters from our Say What Christmas critters with guys that kind of match them, like the winter unicorn or that little deer from Toboggan together. And I love how she mixed and matched the sentiments from the 2 sentiment sets without actually using Simply Celebrate Winter. So you can see how great these sentiments would work for any of your Christmas cards with any of the stamps. So I just love the idea of mixing and matching everything. I cannot wait to see what you guys create with these stamp sets, so make sure to share with us. Thank you so much for watching today and have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!